The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands, what are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President.
It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Did I get that one right? Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
This is a president of the United States who is a danger to the republic.
America first.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
The great Trump recovery.
America will never be a socialist country. I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, Russian, Russia, Russian, 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 the Russians. Russian.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
And I will never, ever let you down.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. What they're doing is using COVID to steal an election. Together, we will make America strong again. You know what it's about? Fraud, fake ballots. We will make America wealthy again.
They are trying to steal the election.
Now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces.
We will make America proud again. And watch, please, those mail-in ballots. We will make America safe again. And in millions and millions of ballots. Their vote is under what they thought they needed. They're dumping more ballots in there, okay? And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. If we are right about the fraud, Joe Biden can't be president.
Congress, the chair declares the joint session.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Devolution Power Hour. As always, I am joined by Chris Paul. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very, very good, John, and I will be very, very better next week when this whole scenario here is finally.
You're going to be ready by next week?
I think that I think it's supposed to get installed on like Monday.
Oh, that's super exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I am excited to see it. Couple housekeeping items. Well, first of all, for a second when I first saw you, I thought you were wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, like a Zach Payne style.
It's kind of like that, I guess.
Might be the first time.
No, it's definitely not like that.
In a pattern
with a graphic on a shirt. Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
It's an old t-shirt, but I love it for like summertime.
Yeah. LEP says, Patel Patriot, I'm in Florida. Where are you? Yeah, guys, there's some housekeeping items. There's a Badlands meetup tomorrow. We were doing it because I was going to be down in Florida, down in Jupiter. And we had some issues at the airport the other day when we went. It was Thursday. We got there, our flight was already delayed, and then there was a whole outage for the entire Midwest. And so like all the flights in just the Midwest couldn't leave. You had to like go land and like divert, some with the Minneapolis radar being down. And then when we tried to go and like rebook a different flight for later or the next day, we could only get one seat, and it was just a nightmare. So we are postponing our personal trip to Florida to go visit my girlfriend's family for another time. But the meetup is still going on in Jupiter. CanCon and JB will be there, and pretty much everybody who's RSVP'd, I sent an email out. Most of them are going to still go. There might be one or two who had to cancel, but that was for other reasons. So it should still be a pretty darn good crowd. And if you guys are interested in going, you can still RSVP and we can get you the location. So it's badlandsmeetups@gmail.com. Patel Patriot on the no-fly list. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes. I feel like I have nothing but issues. And, you
do have a lot of issues.
It's hard for me to believe we're in the golden age when air travel is the way it is these days. It's such a nightmare.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's another housekeeping item I was going to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, this is what it was. So last week on the show, we did like a little bit of we started a little bit of a Devolution recap. Mm-hmm. I kind of decided that instead of like breaking it up into like multiple shows, that it would be better to just do one like more kind of scripted 1 hour, lay it all out type format. That'd be much more easier to share around and whatnot. That way I can edit it around too. So I think I'm going to do it that way instead of trying to do it over the course of multiple shows with separate hosts and everything. I think that just make more sense. It'd be easier.
Maybe, but going through it with me and BB, you might figure out what the stuff you really want to refine for the compact hour might be.
We could. I mean, we could still. I didn't do anything with BB on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that there are advantages to both.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do. I don't care. I mean, I feel like we have a lot to talk about tonight.
We'll find ways to get the Devolution stuff into the mix over the coming days and weeks. But
we can maybe do it tonight because I don't know, the whole midterm election thing, the Save America Act, and a lot of the rhetoric that's been floating around about it. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that tonight. You had a great post on True Social about legitimacy. I think we should talk about. There's multiple things we could talk about there. Plus, the whole Trump 2028 thing. There's now like repeated, like multiple instances of Trump floating that around, and I think we've been onto something. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. What else was there? And I had a list. I was listing them off. Oh, the Punch Bowl News interview with Trump. That was a great interview. I thought there's a lot of great comments in there that we should talk about. There's some interesting Raising Cain news stories and JD Vance news stories regarding the Iran war. I don't know. There's just a lot. So let's see what happens, man.
Cool.
Yeah. But let's start it off with a quick word from a couple of our sponsors. And we are going to start with some soft disclosure. Get yourself some soft disclosure, softdisclosure.com.
Soft Disclosure deodorant is made with purity-tested ingredients like organic arrowroot powder, magnesium hydroxide, and nourishing plant oils. This deodorant keeps you fresh without covering up the truth. Activated charcoal works like a magnet to help draw out impurities, while green matcha tea brings antioxidant power to protect and calm skin. Aluminum-free, stain-free, and formulated to last up to 2 months of daily use.
Whole bus fresh, no steak on me. Soft Disclosure got me clean. Fresh so loud, can't compete. Mint, lemon, grapefruit, lavender tea.
It helps fight odor without blocking the body's natural sweat. And every purchase helps support 6 American small businesses. Buy 2 deodorants, get a free lip balm. Or visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code FRESH for 15% off.
What are you doing?
Soft Disclosure got me clean. Fresh so loud, can't compete.
Softdisclosure.com. Seen a lot of old names in the chat. And Texas Jules pointed out, by the way, good to see you, Texas Jules. Most of the chatters are subscribed. That's really cool to see. A lot of red castles in the chat, which you got to love it. We also have another sponsor tonight, Cacao Bliss from Earth Echo. This episode is also brought to you by Cacao Bliss from Earth Echo, a ceremonial grade cacao drink with 7 superfoods to curb cravings and protect your heart and arteries. And it tastes like hot chocolate. Billionaires are flying to Switzerland and paying $80,000 a shot to reverse their biological age. And I can vouch for that because I've done that a few times as a billionaire myself. It's called stem cell therapy. Harvard researchers just discovered an affordable morning drink which floods your body with the exact same cells starting in minutes, and it tastes like hot chocolate. Stem cells are your body's built-in repair crew. They help patch your arteries, clear out damage, and keep your cardiovascular system running young. After 50, that crew gets cut in half. You feel it in the form of low energy, stubborn weight, getting out of breath, and just feeling slowed down. Research shows that raw chocolate contains something that can double your stem cell count. Cacao Bliss from Earth Echo uses the purest form of that exact chocolate. It's called ceremonial grade cacao, and it packs in 7 organic superfoods into one morning drink. Best of all, it's just 35 calories and no added sugar. Learn more and get your special discount and free shipping today at trycacaobliss.com/Badlands. All righty, man. I don't even know where to start, but I think we should probably start with the Trump 2028 stuff. If you're good with that, Chris.
Yeah. Last night, his 2 posts. Are you starting there?
Well, yeah, I think we should start there. This is the first one. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So this was him just joking. So this was not a real post, not a serious post. Just kidding.
Yes.
Trump 2028, Make America Great Again. That was last night about 8:40. And then he followed that up about not even like an hour later with this one, Trump 2028. But this time he didn't say just kidding. So this time he was serious. That means
no, this is no kidding.
Yeah, this is great. And I'm very curious to see how the mainstream media starts reacting to this as this talk gets more and more serious. He's getting pushed about it in some of his interviews. Like here was this week, I don't know if you saw this, the JD Vance endorsement thing. Let me play this clip.
There was a report that you told donors that they need to get JD Vance elected in 2028. Is that your official endorsement?
No, it's. I heard about it a little while ago. I think he's great, but we're way too early to even be thinking about that.
Like this is how you talk about somebody you just turned down for like a date. It's like, is it true that you like this person? I was like, oh no, that's silly. But I mean, it's a great person. Just it's not him, it's me. he almost laughed it off. It's great. But then there's another post.
Also, he said it's too early, and it is too early. And the fact that people have been having this conversation for 2 years already is downright shameful, because it just suggests a long-term commitment to statism and a satisfaction with being given your next ruler through no choice of your own.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind being given Trump. Just kidding, but not kidding, really.
By choice. That's your choice.
But you're absolutely right about them trying to push this JD Vance thing from the beginning, because like as soon as the November 2024 elections were over, it was like, okay, and then we gotta do all these things so that JD Vance gets in there in 2028. He's the guy. But there's also this clip. Storm Has Arrived posted this. He's talking about how long he would be in office. And I thought it was a good clip worth sharing.
Unbelievable business. Chips will have a big percentage of the chip business by the time I leave office, which could be a long time. Who knows? They could also be fairly quick. They say 2.5 years. We're going to find out. But I just want to say that it's an honor to have worked with a very smart group of people. Unbelievable business. Chips will.
And then I'm trying to think, where was the other time that he teased was it at the correspondence dinner?
He did definitely do it there, but he's done it a number of times before that, certainly as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the times he's done it.
When he talks about how he might have to do it, and he like says it like he doesn't really know, I play with the idea that he doesn't really know, and that this stuff is just being run somewhere upstream, and at some point he'll get a tap on the shoulder or a phone call, and they'll be like, hey, I'm sorry you got to do this again, but we don't have anybody else who can do it, and we're still not done because they chose the hose again. So you're going to have to devote more of your later stages in life to playing this ridiculous game with these soap opera actors every day.
But do you think he'd even be talking about 2028 if he didn't know that it was already going to happen?
Well, I mean, maybe. I'll tell you what, man. I thought on that night that he announced he was going to like run in a fake campaign for 2024 that night in November of 2022.
Yeah.
He seemed a little bit annoyed to have to be doing that. And I don't know I think we covered that live, and I don't know if I mentioned that as part of my reaction, but I remember thinking that evening, and it just put the whole thing into a different perspective for me. I think it's, there's a lot of people in the truth community and outside it who entertain the idea that Trump was asked by various members of the military to essentially do this job for a project that was going to be ongoing. And if that's the case, I can't imagine he's the ultimate authority and decision maker in that project. He might be one of them, but maybe not the singular one. And it's possible that they want him to act with some degree of, I don't know, spontaneity or additional authenticity in the fact that he actually doesn't know every single thing that's going to get thrown at him. And, this is how the world kind of not evolves, but I mean, how reality emerges. It's this constant newness that has to be dealt with. And even if you have a plan that's pretty well locked in place and game theory to the nth degree, you're still going to be surprised sometimes. You expect some people to emerge in leadership positions that don't emerge. Stories get told by the mainstream media that are too damaging to the cause, that things get delayed, and you have to pull back a little bit because they've got some narrative wins, as they get every 2 years when we go through these ridiculous ritual elections that are going to just lead us back to the same point over and over and over again. At some point, we have to choose to break that cycle on our own, and Trump might be stuck there until we do.
Yeah, it was just crazy to think about. I do want to play. This is him announcing in 2022 his campaign for 2024.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
That's it.
So many incredible friends and family here tonight. It's such a beautiful thing. Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really easy. If you want to know the truth. Really
I mean, we can watch the whole thing and I'll just shut up till then, but
you can
just to contextualize this speech, it was in the days after the 2022 midterm, when there was supposed to be a big red wave and then there wasn't. And immediately the night of the election, by the way, Trump did the de-sanctimonious thing at his Miami speech a few days before the midterms. And all of these, very base and red-pilled Republicans came out with just a wave of Trump hatred because he was knocking America's governor down in the free state of Florida. And so we get the red wave that fails to materialize. Ben Shapiro and Megyn Kelly and Glenn Beck and Fox News and all those kind of con Inc. uniparty right media voices who used to be mainstream media characters, but now they're alternative media because they've got podcasts. They were all out that night talking about how it was Trump's fault. It was MAGA's fault. It was the fault of election deniers. They're the ones that cost the Republicans the 2022 midterms. And so Trump then has to come out and give this speech and say, all right, I guess I'm going to do this thing again.
Did we end up, did the Republicans end up taking majority in those elections?
Well, Kevin McCarthy was sworn in 2023. So the answer is yes, but it was supposed to be like this overwhelming victory.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't.
But if I'm not mistaken, the Senate was tied, wasn't it?
Gosh, I don't remember that part well enough. The Republican majority in the House, I remember.
Because Kamala Harris was tiebreaker for a couple things, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's right then. Yeah.
Trying to remember now.
I think that's right.
Seems like
well, wait a second. No, Kamala Harris would have been, but yes, she would have been vice president. And yes, she would have been the tiebreaker as the president of the Senate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Tracks. I think that's right. I mean, we could just look it up.
Yeah, we probably could, or we can keep trying to guess and remember, but I'm going to play the rest of this.
Chat's probably already screaming at us.
Yeah. I want to play the rest of this.
You ought to try it sometime. Together, we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence, and the spirit of the American people. This is a movement. This is not for any one individual. This is a job for tens of millions of proud people working together from all across the land and from all walks of life, young and old, black and white, Hispanic and Asian, many of whom we have brought together for the very, very first time. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what's happened with Hispanic, with African American, with longer
ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like,
yeah, nothing that exciting. So, but I think you're right. He seems a little more morose, maybe might be the right word.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, let's transition this talk into the Save America Act, because it's just so silly, man. For over a year now, and I went back through Twitter and was looking at like a whole bunch of people's posts who have been posting about the Save America Act, and the rhetoric around it has been like, either we passed the Save America Act or like we don't have a country anymore. Trump has said that, and like there's countless of these Twitter influencers who are like, this is the most important thing that we need. Okay. It hasn't happened yet. And I don't know if they anticipated it would, but like when you push rhetoric of that sort, either we fix our elections or we don't have a country anymore. How do you transition then into, okay, well, but the midterms are coming up, we better all vote for that? Like, that seems like such a, they're all hypocrites. These people are all hypocrites. Like, I feel like we've been pretty steady in the Save America Act doesn't even do it. We don't want it. We don't care. We don't think Trump wants it. Our elections are illegitimate. and you had a great post today on Twitter, and maybe I can wait for you to give it a little more context. But I don't know what it was today that sparked that for me. I think it was something you shared in our little private chat. But what do we do heading into these midterms, if we even have them? I'm still hoping that they get canceled or Trump does something else. But if we don't get the Save America Act and we don't get the election fraud exposure fixed, and we do have the midterm elections, these people have put themselves in a bind because they've simultaneously told us that we don't have legitimate elections because we don't have the Save America Act, but also we have to go vote. And those two things don't line up. They don't do this thing.
No, they don't. And, the have to vote thing, I accept that from Trump because he is the focal point of everything. And if Trump says that voting is necessary, which, by the way, he has said, he told Christians in 2024, come out and vote for me this time. After that, you will never have to do it. He did say that. Okay. So that's there. He's called elections fake. So he's given the full logic behind why people wouldn't and shouldn't have to vote. He has said specifically that they wouldn't have to vote, explicitly, I should say. So as far as the Trump of it all goes, I don't know where people can even get their support there. I don't think that Trump can be used to support the view that you have to vote. But damn it, I just took myself off track. And then I remembered what I was going to say, and then I took myself off track again. So wait, the question was, see, John's off track now too.
I'm off track too. I'm pulling up the clip from this video. I was gonna say, like, these people, they put themselves in a conundrum of, we're approaching the midterms. They've told us we have to have the Save America Act or we won't have a country. But now we're approaching those midterms without the Save America Act. And as far as we know, those midterms are still scheduled. It's quite the conundrum they've put themselves in.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I give Trump leeway on that because he's the focal point. People are going to look to him for guidance. If he says you don't have to vote and makes a thing about that, then that's going to change. That's going to be a major change for public communications and how he can use elections and what the rest of this is going to be. Now, I'm not opposed to him doing that. I think it would be great if he went even harder about how the elections are faked. But with that said, he does post every single day that they are rigged. You can't be, if the system is going to project an election to the public and give the public a result from that election, Trump can be blamed for a bad Republican result if he is not out there saying, go vote for Republicans, support Republicans. And by the way, I think that's one of the big reasons why he's going to be hosting that RNC convention. Like in a few weeks, they're going to do a convention for midterms with all these candidates that no one cares about at all. So I don't know how that's going to go. The convention in 2024 was ridiculous enough, especially the first night when Trump showed up with the square bandage on the side of his head. I mean, the whole thing is just so absurd and everybody keeps buying in. So if the country's still bought into it and Trump says, no, you don't have to vote, you don't have to do any of these things, well, then they can pitch the story that Trump really didn't support it, because we're going to get, the results already baked into the cake, and that's why he acts the way he acts.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion of why he still does it.
Yeah, let me play this clip because I think this is a pretty interesting one, and I think it fits the conversation we're having pretty nicely.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could do a lot easier. I didn't have to be away in Nevada yesterday. I didn't have to be in Los Angeles yesterday making speeches. I didn't have to be supporting all the people. I have a lot, I have a busy schedule. I said to somebody, wait a minute, you don't understand. I won. I'm not campaigning. Now, that's the other thing. I get a tremendous vote. I have records in many of the states, the most votes ever in Texas and Florida and many, many states, Alabama. You can go through them, many, many states. The most votes ever. The question is, and they're asking this question, and I've had some great polls recently, real polls, but they're great polls. If I don't run, will those people go out and vote? And that's the one thing I can't say. I'm going to ask them to, but I'm just watching guys like you, and you're very talented people. The question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you. They're
Why is
angry at I don't know. I mean, they're angry at Republicans. But they're not angry at me.
Why?
They're not angry at me, but they are angry at Republicans.
Everyone's always.
So it's a noted.
Very clear. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And it's a noted change of rhetoric. It's like in the past, he said, you have to vote. We have to go out and vote. You have to vote. But he's like, I'm going to ask them to, but they're kind of mad at Republicans. So, like, what can I do about it? Mm-hmm. It's a change of rhetoric, I think.
Kind of also gives you an indication where things are going to go.
Kind of does, especially if we don't have that pesky Save America Act. There was another great comment on here. He actually talks about the Save America Act a little bit. Let me play this part of it. I love this. I've listened to this interview like 4 times. It's fairly short, but there's so many like good clips in here.
Up a lot of business. That resolution does carry the blueprint for the Save America Act. Thune says it doesn't have the votes. You seem to think it does, or they should try or do something. He's been pretty pointed on this, Thune. He says he doesn't see a pathway to 50, 51, doesn't have 60. Democrats aren't voting for it. What's the disconnect between you and Thune?
Well, we have no disconnect. I think we have a good relationship, but I view that as a very important thing. It's a voter ID. If you just even take the ballots out of it, the ballots are very important, but we do that another time. Voter ID, and it's proof of citizenship. And I figure you can't get any more basic than that. In other words, we want to see your citizenship. We want to make sure that you're a citizen to vote. We like photo ID just to make sure, because the elections are rigged in this country. The elections are a mess in this country. And that was proven in 2020, and it's been proven elsewhere. Look at the recent election that took place with the Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles. All of a sudden, I mean, they came from nowhere. It looked like he was in the runoff, or easily in the runoff. The other one was, the third place was a woman nobody ever heard of. She's crying, oh, I didn't make it. She didn't make it by a lot. All of a sudden, she surged. Unknown people don't surge. And she surged after the election was over. And she ended up getting in the runoff. He didn't. Look, we're like a third world country in many cases, in many states, third world country. So I think that I think it's very important. Save America Act is a very important thing. John's trying. He's trying hard. I really believe that. But if he doesn't get there, it would be unfortunate.
He says, why don't you get the votes for it?
Well, I can probably do that, but I have a couple of people that I won't do so well with. You understand why, right? They're no longer.
Just the way he talks about elections too, and the way he gets the movement and everybody to talk about elections, about how rigged and fraudulent they are. I feel like he's setting it up for the rug pull this November. Like, he's going to make everybody look like idiots for, okay, the elections are fraudulent, guys, so let's all go do it again. And that's what you had, that great post on True Social. And let me pull this up. I think it's this one. Does high turnout in elections, getting everyone to vote, support the system's legitimacy or challenge the system's legitimacy? And you put, I am not asking about the legitimacy of any given election result. I'm asking about the legitimacy of the system to remain in place and in power. And I know this episode, even talking like this, is going to upset people, but there is contradictions amongst the argument that these people who are telling you to vote are making. You cannot come out and tell us that elections are rigged and fraudulent, and that the system is corrupt, and that there's foreign influence, and all these problems with the entire governance apparatus within our country, while simultaneously telling everybody to go and lend legitimacy to it as well. Like, those two things do not go hand in hand. They contradict each other, and I'm, for one, sick of it.
Yes, but this actually even goes one level beyond that, because the turnout in elections is part of what gives a government legitimacy, because it conveys the will and consent of the people to be governed. So if you say that the population of America is 350 million, and they say there's, I don't know, I think it's like 210 million people of voting age, and I don't believe these numbers are legitimate and real, for the record, but nor are the voter registration numbers, nor the turnout numbers. So all the numbers are wrong. Be that as it may, higher turnout numbers attest to the legitimacy of a government, because it says the people of the nation went and participated in this election to convey their political power to this government for whoever wins. And that is the argument that is made on the international stage. And it appears in definitions of legitimacy in international law and in the international, like the global governance bodies. So it is a very important indication that the government created by the election is legitimate. So they want to increase turnout numbers all the time, because it doesn't only communicate legitimacy in international law and global governance, it also communicates legitimacy to the people of the nation that held the election. And so when we hear in 2020 that the overall turnout has gone from 131 million in 2016 to 158 million in 2020 during a pandemic, that big number tells us that everybody was so, and this is how they framed it at least, that everybody was so riled up about Donald Trump's awful term in office that all of these people who didn't have access to the polls before came out and voted through mail-in ballots just to get Donald Trump out of office. And that's what explains a full 20% climb in one election cycle of the turnout. And all of that supports the system's legitimacy. Turning out and getting people to turn out for elections, particularly fake ones, does not challenge the system's legitimacy. So if you have a problem with the system in a fundamental way, you cannot solve that problem by telling people to go out and vote.
I totally agree. And the 20% increase, like Trump lost that election.
Right.
He lost that election. And the next election, there was slightly less. Trump got more votes though, but it's just so silly. I was reading through old posts and, people talking about how the count is baked in. It's literally the same people who in 2025 was saying that you cannot outvote the machines. Like enthusiasm is not, like, I can't remember the exact quote. It's something about enthusiasm isn't gonna win elections. Like, you have to fix the problem first. Yeah. Talking about how you need to get the same day voter ID, all the stuff about the Save America Act. But then now, a full year later or more, they've stopped talking about that, and it's all just you have to vote, you have to vote, you have to vote, you have to vote. And I don't know. I think there's just a fundamental issue with how the conversation is taking place. And I wish Trump would take it to that next level, and nobody ever asked him this. Like, he had a perfect opportunity right there. That guy from Punchbowl News, I can't remember, Jake Sherman,
yeah,
to be like, okay, well, you're saying the elections are rigged. You need the Save America Act. You say you want the Save America Act to fix it. So what happens in that next election if you don't get all those things? Like, does all of a sudden the elections become legitimate again? Like, nobody ever asked him those questions.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And you have to wonder why. I mean, the scary answer for people who are in Jake Sherman's position or people who want to see Donald Trump removed from office, the scary answer is that the elections just are fake. They don't want to incorporate that into their thinking because that ends the game as far as they're concerned. I mean, Jake Sherman is reliant on the system remaining in place. And a lot of the entire influencer class is reliant on the system remaining in place because it's the system that pays them, which is why they encourage the total commitment to elections and to electing people simply because they have an R next to their name in a situation that we know to be a uniparty situation. Okay, so there's no difference in who wins fake elections, and it's already determined. And like, everybody knows these things. They just won't admit all of these individual facts about our elections in one comprehensive picture, because that comprehensive picture means that elections are fake. And so people think it's like they're the one bit of power that they have to fight back against this terrible system. And to admit that they're fake means they actually have zero power, because the one thing that gave them power is now gone. Well, that's not true if you're not actually getting any power through the vote. That's an illusion. And letting go of that illusion and figuring out what to do instead of engage the illusion, that's where your power comes from. So it's totally backwards, even for the people who fear the realization. It's so many people, man, and I have sympathy for this. I really do, because we're conditioned into it throughout our lives. And we believe that government has to be solved because we're so obsessed with government and because we've allowed government to take this central role in our lives. And so to think that we have no effect at all, well, that means that we have to admit that we're subjects to this government and we know we can't change it besides through voting. So now we're just screwed. Well, that's not actually true, because the thing is an illusion. It's an abstraction. And because we give it power, it has power. If we take its power away, there's no power. And you can take its power away simply by refusing to comply with anything it says we do, and then getting involved locally so that the local government can't enforce the things that are coming in from the national government that comes in from global governance. Man, just to put a tag on the end of this, in my Substack today, there was a post about smoking, and someone
Wait, what? A post about smoking?
Smoking, yeah.
What do you mean?
There was this video about how smoking is cool again, and there were these two like really whiny, obviously liberal science trusters who are like, it's like so stupid. It's like the leading cause of death. And you can just like, you listen to it in their voices, you know, there's no way they could ever prove the thing that they're saying, but everybody agrees that that thing is true. So they say it in this confident manner, and they're presented as like the smart and responsible people. Just look at their body language and look at their,
is it this thing?
It is that thing. Yeah.
I want to watch it now.
Yeah, let's play it. Yeah.
Everyone is smoking cigarettes now, trying to be chic. It's a thing.
Big Tobacco might have a new mascot, the drunk cig.
A drunk cig is like very popular right now.
Cigarettes may be once again reclaiming their place in counterculture. Or maybe that's just what mainstream culture would like you to think. Either way, the question remains, are cigarettes cool again?
Were they ever not cool?
Everybody knows cigarettes.
That's
no,
it right there.
They're not cool. They're going to kill you. Cigarettes are still the leading preventable cause of disease and death in the US. They are deadly. It is a stupid habit.
You see like people smoking in movies and stuff like that, and I feel like that just instantly makes it cool.
You know, think of Peaky Blinders or some of those spaghetti westerns. The noise, zooming in on the cherry, the whole vibe.
Gen Z had so much of their development in COVID in this cocoon. I think smoking makes them feel ironically more alive, even though it's eventually, going to kill them if they keep doing it.
She can't even say that with a straight face. She had to look up as she said that.
But
isn't that a tell for a lie?
Yes, but she would purport to believe this. And she sounds like a moron. She sounds like she's talking to children. And these people always speak like they're talking to children because they're saying something ridiculous and trying to be very authoritative about it. And so you will then make children out of the audience because then you sound like the authority. And that's what you can watch influencers do that all day long. But that is a learned habit from social media. So, I don't want to like cut you off if you have anything to say about smoking.
No, I want to see where you're going with this because I'm curious.
Okay. So he sends me, he says the whole anti-smoking thing was from a WHO policy like 20 years ago. And I look it up and it turns out he's exactly right. Like the WHO put out some policy in 2003, and all of a sudden there were indoor smoking bans across the world responding to the WHO. And it's funny just now because we have this, first of all, in 2020, cigarettes and nicotine were known to be preventative of COVID, yeah. Whatever COVID was. There's actually a history that you can go back into and find out that these are actually, nicotine has nootropic properties and antiviral properties, which makes you wonder about what's going on there. But so there was already that stuff. You could see that the WHO would be inclined to marginalize something that actually is preventative of illnesses that they might eventually want to cause on a massive scale. But the anti-smoking thing, since we were like babies, has been insane. And throughout that time, the entire thing rests on claims from expert authority in the medical community, combined with people's lived experience of smokers getting sick. Well, you know who also gets sick? Non-smokers, okay? And when you have a perfect scapegoat for all of these medical problems across the board that could easily have been caused by medical products we were being sold, not the least of which are vaccines. It really starts to become a little ridiculous to think that like this one habit has just been killing all of these people. It has been so easily accepted because there are so many people that don't like smoking, or they don't like their parents who smoked, or they don't like the smell of smoke, or they don't like blah, 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 a million things. But it is the society through law and through shame taking away this element of individual choice that has been around for millennia. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the whole nicotine thing, it's if there's anything in the cigarettes that is killing you, it's all the other chemicals they put in there besides the nicotine. Badlandsmedia.tv/ELP, promo code Badlands.
There you go.
You get your own Badlands nicotine right there. But that's an interesting point you're making. I had not seen that video of smoking becoming cool again. Interesting.
I mean, I don't think there was any point at which smoking wasn't cool. They definitely in Hollywood, it was there forever. I was always smoking throughout that entire time, and they would create new policies to try to stop it. They would do the indoor bans. Beverly Hills did an outdoor ban. One year they passed Prop 65 that added 75 cents of a tax onto like every pack of cigarettes or something like that. Something absurd. And when people would bum cigarettes at that point, I would, wow, there you go.
It's from March.
Yep, good. When people would go to bum cigarettes at that point, I'd be like, did you vote for Prop 65? And this is before I knew elections were fake. But I would be like, did you vote for Prop 65? And if they said yes, or they didn't know what it was, then I wouldn't give them a cigarette.
That's hilarious. How many people there did know what it was?
I'd say it was like, I'd say probably 80% either voted for it or didn't know what it was. And they voted for it because it's one of those ballot measures that says we're going to fund, like, I think it was medical care for poor kids with that money. And so that is what, because there's this emotionally appealing justification in policy that they promise is going to be implemented. Well, then you get to tax other people because you don't like what they're doing. And that's really, that's how we think of our government, which is ridiculous. And the fact, you know, and I know that people are divided about cigarettes in many ways, and all good. But if you support a policy like that, A, you're a statist. B, stop calling yourself a conservative. Stop saying that you care about people's natural rights or the rest of it. It's absurd.
Yeah. People don't actually think it. I don't think people actually know what it means to be conservative. Maybe not our chat. Our chat is pretty solid, but
yeah,
a lot of people out there. I want to play more of this interview. There's like a 6-minute section here that I think is worthwhile. We're not. We'll break it up. We'll listen to it in spurts here because there's a couple interesting things he says.
If Republicans lose the House, it'll be the end of the Trump presidency to some degree.
Yeah, to some degree. Still have great blocking power, so they won't be able to do anything. In other words, they won't be able to destroy. Right? No, I have great block. I'm a great blocker, and they'll be putting horrible communistic type things in front of me, and I'll be just saying no, no, no. But I'd rather be a positive force than a negative force.
You've acknowledged a bunch of times that, you know, it's tough for the party in power to keep the House majority. It's a difficult thing, right? It only happens.
It amazes me, actually. So I've done a lot. I mean, you know, I am very consequential. You look at the great, big, beautiful, you look at all of the things that we've done. You could make the case that nobody's done so much in a year and a half.
Why are they down on the generic ballot? What do you think?
Well, let me just say it, and this is what nobody understands. Nobody understands it. The president in power, Republican or Democrat, as I call it, the president in power always loses. It's the craziest thing. 2 times.
96
and they were a little unusual time.
Yes, they were.
There's a psychology down deep that nobody can explain.
Well, people want to check on power, I think.
Well,
right?
They maybe want to check on power, but when you have somebody doing I did the greatest tax cuts, best tax cuts, biggest tax cuts. You look at no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, the deductions for buying cars and all the things. We have more money being invested in the United States now than at any time in history. I rebuilt the military. I mean, the things I've done. So even if you did a great job as president, they seem to lose. That's the only thing that I have going against us. For some reason, if the president, whoever is Democrat or Republican, loses on the midterms. And by the way, that's over the last 100 years.
Yes,
it's not 50, it's 100 years.
How do you handicap it now, House and Senate?
I think we're going to win, but I look at, I'll be honest, I look at this.
Before we get into this part, I think he's hitting on something here that's interesting, and he's saying there's something psychological about why, even if you're having a great presidency, it doesn't matter. The president loses at the midterms, and his explanation is psychological. But the reality is, I think, my opinion, is this is how the system operates. It's the uniparty. It's giving each other opposite turns, so nothing can actually get accomplished. But this is what they do. Okay, we have a Republican president, maybe a Republican House and Senate. They had this big red wave at the, in the general election. Well, the midterms, we're going to let the Democrats take over the House and the Senate. That way they can put a check on power. And then they're going to win the next election and have the full House cards. And then the following midterms, the Republicans are going to win back the House and the Senate, and they're going to have that check on power. And then and it's just back and forth, a uniparty handing each other both sides. So it gives this illusion of like democracy and voters like being upset with one party and giving it to the next party, when at the end of the day, it's the same people from the same team just wearing different jerseys, even though they're on the same team. And they're just handing off the baton to each other back and forth while they slowly destroy the country, because that's what they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that 100%. I think elections are narrative devices, and the party affiliation that they announce as the winner, there's a certain prestige among, social groups, the liberals and conservatives arguing around the water cooler or in a family or whatever. It's like this proxy war we wage against our loved ones that we get to wage through a third party. You want to defeat your mom or your sister or your cousin or your coworker, or like the guy on Facebook that you knew in high school and won't stop saying things that upset you. And it's like the one way we're going to win is by, it just becomes a sport, man. It's like, I saw someone in the chat earlier kind of ribbing me for being a Steelers fan. And it like, if I actually formed an argument with this person and I don't know, they're a Ravens fan or whatever, I would be, oh, Steelers. And they'd be, oh, Ravens. And finally the Steelers and Ravens play. And through no initiative of either of ours, we have nothing to do with the outcome. Oh, the Steelers win, so I get to, I told you I was right the whole time. Like, that's what we're doing with politics. It's so stupid. And I mean, maybe it would make sense if the politics are real, but they're not even real. And they tell us all the time they're not real. And these fools just go out there and they just keep doing their silly acts, like people like Tim Burchett and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, all this bullshit they're doing with Tucker. It's so dumb. I don't know how people are still into this stuff. I really don't.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
You just described CanCon when it comes to sports. That's exactly
CanCon
what he
loves. Yes, CanCon will love doing that whole thing till the end of days. But at least he's the most good-natured person about it I've ever seen.
Oh,
he really just go ahead.
I sometimes disagree with that. I mean, he's
Really?
good-natured with how he does it for sure, but then I don't know. Maybe I should leave it there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do that stuff in a good-natured way, all good. But like families are torn apart over these things. Okay. So at that point, if that's what's going on and the elections aren't real and the politics are just scripted by some people in a back room figuring out what the American people, what their attention can be dominated by, and it's always elections over and over and over again. Dude, they would give us elections every 3 months if they thought we would accept it. And the truth is they kind of tried that for the last 5 years with Scott Pressler out there like every other month, finding some Wisconsin Supreme Court race or like some Pennsylvania special election or whatever. And you just get people's focus all riled up. Everybody's got to go out and vote. Your participation means everything. And then they do it and the wrong thing happens. and they just can get you to commit to it again a few months later. It's crazy.
I do feel like we have elections every 3 months. I feel like there's constantly like a special election somewhere or whatever. Second Chance says we are both oversimplifying. I don't know. I don't know if we are. I mean, maybe broadly speaking, but anyway, let's go back to this this clip here because there's more. What was the question he was just asked again?
If the president, whoever is Democrat or Republican, loses on the midterms. And by the way, that's over the last 100 years.
Yes,
it's not 50, it's 100 years.
How do you handicap it now, House and Senate?
I think we're going to win, but I look at, I'll be honest, I look at this. Not everybody was a bad president. We've had good presidents, and even good presidents, they tend to lose the midterm. So I don't know what that is. Other than that, I'd say we should win easily. Now, I think they're hurting themselves because we don't want communists in our country. You got a lot of bad candidates on the other side. And it's one thing to win in a radical left area, an area that tends to be very much on the Democrats' side. But I don't think you can win on a general election with that. I just don't think the people are ready for it. I don't think they'll ever be ready for it.
Do you, MAGA Inc., the super PAC that your allies control, has a lot of money and a lot of people?
Not my allies. I control it.
Okay, you and your allies.
$800 million.
Are you going to spend it?
It's funny. Nobody ever, of course, I'm going to do.
You're going to spend it in the midterms.
I could spend it on pretty much anything I want. I'm going to spend it I'm going to help Republicans.
This midterm.
And so when you say I don't care.
No, I didn't say that. I said some people say that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could do a lot easier. I didn't have to be away in Nevada yesterday. I didn't have to be in Los Angeles yesterday making speeches. I didn't have to be supporting all the people. I have I have a busy schedule. I said to somebody, wait a minute, you don't understand. I won. I'm not campaigning.
So we listened to that part earlier. So let me skip ahead to the part where they're angry. Because I don't think we got the full part of this earlier.
To people, the question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, they're angry at Republicans, but they're not angry at me.
Thing. Why?
They're not angry at me, but they are angry at Republicans.
Everyone's always angry.
And there are some areas that are basically Democrat, but they're Trump, like Pennsylvania. I win Pennsylvania easily. I win other places easily. Look, I won Michigan easily. I did well with Michigan. I did well with almost everything, to be honest. I did well with everything.
But it's a good point, Mike.
Now the question is...
Rogers lost when you were on the ballot.
Yeah.
And now he's up again.
Well, he lost when I'm on the ballot, and I won big in Michigan. But I happen to think he won.
Okay. Well, that's
no. I think it was a rigged deal. I think they rigged him out of it. But he's a very good candidate. I think he should do well. If we believe in polls, I actually sort of believe in polls.
Polls
but
were terrible in the Democratic primary.
They were terrible in that primary. But if we believe in the poll a little bit, let's give it a little credit. They say he does better against Abdullah. It's Abdul, but it's the actual name is Abdullah, and then it's much longer than that.
Right.
But if you believe in the polls, he does better against Abdullah than he did against the young Congress.
So funny when he decides to believe in the polls and when he doesn't. It's hilarious. That might be, he talks about Jeffries a little bit. Then he goes on to like AI data centers. I do want to get to the crypto stuff.
Okay, that election on Tuesday in Michigan, that by itself is full conclusive proof that elections are fake. Trump endorsed like tall, strapping 40s black dude named Amir Hassan. So he's got all his woke credentials on the whole thing. That guy loses to a man that raised $1,850 and had dropped out of the race.
Wait,
that guy
what?
achieved Tom Smith. Look it up.
I did not. I did not follow Michigan race.
Yeah. I thought I dropped that in the chat the other day. Maybe you missed it. But Amir Hassan in Michigan CanCon and I talked about this yesterday, so we don't have to go into it too deeply. But just an impossible result. It's incredible. And there are always so many impossible results. And for some reason, people just keep on ignoring it.
Hold on. So on Tuesday, Republican primary voters in Michigan gave a double-digit victory to a congressional candidate who dropped out of the race, choosing him over President Donald Trump-backed former Muslim with an identifiably Arabic name. I did not realize that other guy dropped out of the race. If you drop out, like how can you be eligible to win if you're no longer running?
Well, I guess you were as long as you're on the ballot. I guess.
That's crazy. What the hell? Abdullah Rahman. A lot of people making him names, calling him a terrorist. That's great. Anyway, that's nuts, man. Okay, I want to fast forward a little bit to the crypto part because I thought this was really interesting. He does talk about how AI is going to be the future oil. Essentially, it's like, I don't get why these people don't want the data centers. Like, what's going on here? But then this is him on crypto, and I think it's fascinating.
One of the things that Congress is wrestling with now is crypto. A big crypto bill is on the agenda. Democrats want to impose ethics restrictions and limit your ability to conduct your family's ability to conduct crypto business while you're in office. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very interesting because Nancy Pelosi, nobody ever did that with her. And I believe crypto is very important because if we don't have it, China's going to have it. They all want it. Okay. And we've done a great job on it. We've done. Biden all of a sudden at the end became.
But by the way, when he's talking just crypto, he says the word crypto as if it's like general, but the way he describes it and the way he talks about it, he's clearly talking about Bitcoin because he's like, China wants it. China's going to try to have it. If China wanted just any old crypto, they could go and make a China coin or G coin or whatever. But the way he's talking about it, he is describing Bitcoin, in my opinion.
Became very strong for it because he saw I was getting all of the business. I did it for a lot of reasons. One of them was politics. There were a lot of people, like they say 100 million people worldwide and a lot of people.
Right.
And then Biden saw what was happening. I was killing him. And he all of a sudden loved crypto. But I do it very simply because we can't let China have it or Japan have it. Other countries really want it and we dominate in it. So to me, it's very important. But they want to do a bill. And in the bill, they want me to be different than everybody else. So
you're against that, it would sound like.
Well, I don't mind putting it in a blind trust. I don't run my stuff anyway. I let my kids run it. I never talk to them about things. If they want to go into, they're not involved in government. I don't talk to them about government. I don't talk to them about much other than to say, I love you kids. They're good kids. But we don't want to see China take over crypto. I don't want to see China win with AI and crypto. Crypto is a big deal. I mean, I see it more and more where people are paying with Bitcoin. And they don't even know about cash anymore. That takes a lot of pressure off our dollar. It's a good thing for our country. But if China took over crypto, which they would love to do, or if China took over AI, which they would really, so we are leading with AI on China. Nobody thought that was possible. The reason was energy, because he can create. He's an amazing guy. China can create unbelievable amounts of energy, and they use coal and they use oil and gas and they use, they make a lot of windmills, but they don't use too many windmills because they're smart, because wind is a disaster.
I don't understand your obsession with that, but
you know what my obsession is? I want the country to be successful. We subsidize all of this wind. You shouldn't have to subsidize energy, number one, but wind is a very expensive form of
Some Republicans are against you on that too, but
So it is funny to me that just like 3 weeks ago, he comes out and tells the world that China interfered in our election. And then here, like he spent that whole part pretty much, well, he's saying like he doesn't want China to beat us. He's praising Xi. He's a great guy, by the way, great man, all these things. He's talking very positively about China and what they're doing and how they're trying to do it to beat us. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the AI thing, the way data centers are set up with the power right next to them, the power plant right next to them, that is the same arrangement for Bitcoin. And I look at those things as interchangeable in like language like this. I mean, we watch coded language on television all the time. And at some point you have to start thinking whether, we all have these LLMs and we can see how they're advancing. And we understand that, of course, the data load is enormous, but it isn't, what they're building isn't only that.
Yeah. He even talks about that in here. I was the guy who said they should build their energy rate like within their data centers, like build it right next to it. He says that in Symbio. Okay, last clip I want to play, the last portion here is him going back. So they've talked about multiple things throughout this interview. They come back around to talk about the Democrats taking control at the midterms and what happens. And so like they keep going, but he keeps bringing them back to this topic. And it's almost like Jake Sherman is trying to like plant that seed. He's like, the Democrats are going to win, bro. What are you going to do when that happens?
That's because they don't understand the business.
Last question for you. If Democrats do take over the House, it's just going to be investigation mania. They're going to do oversight. They can impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, A lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that, though.
But they know, they see the results. Look, we have right now more money being invested in the United States than at any time in history, more money than any country has ever had being invested. We're at numbers that we're building more factories, plants, and I'm not just talking about AI, yes, but auto plants of all kinds. Toyota just announced they're coming in with the largest plant anywhere in the world. They're leaving Mexico. They're leaving Canada. People are leaving, the car companies are leaving Germany. They're leaving Japan. They're all coming here because of tariffs, because of my very smart use of tariffs, because But
will they impeach you, do you think? They'll be.
It's hard to believe they could, but
they'll be all over you. They'll be subpoenaed.
It's a very unfair thing. Yeah, it's a very unfair thing. You know, when I was president and I made the statement a lot about Hillary Clinton, they wanted to impeach her, they wanted to destroy her. And I said, you just can't do that. And then I get in there and they tried to do the same thing with me. They were vicious. So I guess they might be.
Are they more vicious than Republicans?
I think the Republicans are too nice, actually. I think the Republicans are much nicer. I think the Republicans are much more gentle than the Democrats. I think the problem with the Democrats, they have bad policy. They're smart, they're vicious, but they have really bad policy. Open borders, let the whole world come into our country, let prisons be emptied out into our country. The transgender mutilization of your children, that's fine with them. All of these things that they have men playing in women's sports, they want men.
But by the way, the men playing in women's sports thing, did you see the op going on this last week of all these former NBA players declaring for the WNBA draft next year? And CanCon did himself too, because he obviously has to participate in the Twitter thing. So, but I thought it was
the amount of WNBA content being shoved in people's faces right now is absolutely insane.
It
and
is.
Of course, it's getting hyped through all those same weird oppie channels. The Sophie Cunningham meme where she was pointing.
Oh yeah.
That was incredibly viral for a few days. And then a few weeks after that, she's a ring girl at UFC.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks after that, she's in a controversy with Riley Gaines and hyped up from that.
What happened? I missed that controversy.
There was one of the WNBA teams, the Seattle Storm, one of their, I think the story went, one of their minority owners got upset at these two girls who were wearing shirts that were like of Riley Gaines's brand.
Oh yeah.
And because of what it says about Transformers in the WNBA. And I guess Sophie Cunningham was like on board with that, or came out and said that she believes that men shouldn't play in women's sports. And so then there was an added controversy at that layer, and it's just layer after layer of hype. Yeah. And this is all they've ever done with that league for the last few years, is just try to create like the illusion of a race war between the black players and the white players. And now they're doing the tranny thing for election season, and it's all going to get hyped through the Dana Whites of the world and his whole side of the op, and then the Daily Wire stuff. It's
very stupid.
It's all so tired at this point.
Yeah, there's like a couple minutes left of this interview, but I think you guys get the gist. I do recommend you guys going and watching the whole thing, though. I found it to be pretty interesting. You know what? We should probably get a quick word from our final sponsor tonight, and then we can transition. And Chris, I don't know what do you want to transition to? We can get into the JD Vance and Raising Cane stuff, the Iran war. We could get into, I think I have a couple other tabs open. We could talk about the ballroom. The court blocked the above ground construction.
Well, now it's a military center.
Yeah, pretty much. On the
Trump said it in his post. He called it a military center.
Oh, I missed that now. I missed that post. Yeah. I've been kind of
he had a big post about it yesterday. I'll find it.
Okay, I'll find that. We'll talk about that. Okay, real quick. Let me get this pulled up. All right. Quick question. How much control do you have over your money right now? Technology has changed everything, and now it's changing how money works. Crypto started as a niche, and now it's going mainstream with faster payments, more control, fewer middlemen. This isn't hype. This is just where things are going. And getting started today is easier than you think. With Rumble Wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, hold dollar-backed stablecoins, even own digital gold backed by real gold, all in one place in a non-custodial crypto wallet, which means you, not a bank or platform, controls access to your funds. And setup is super simple. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your debit card, credit card, or bank account and be up and running in just minutes. And for a limited time, you can start your wallet with $20 in US stablecoin by downloading Rumble Wallet and entering the exclusive promo code DPH20. When you sign up now, you can even use your Rumble Wallet to support your favorite Rumble creators like those of us here at Badlands directly. So scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video or go to wallet.rumble.com/DPH, download the wallet. From there, you can set it up and enter promo code DPH20 and get a free $20 in US stablecoin. This is a limited time offer, so act now, take control of your money, and get started with Rumble Wallet today. This is a paid advertisement for Rumble Wallet. Rumble is compensating me for this ad. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary. Offer available to U.S. residents only. Offer not available in New York State. It must be 18 plus. Offers available for a limited time and for the first 250 wallets activated and funded. Restrictions apply. Details and full official rules available at rumble.com/promo official rules. Alrighty. Okay, you got that?
No, I think I must have scrolled past it and then I got stuck in. So the last 3 days, Trump has had like his 40 endorsements in a row, and then 40 like this person won posts in a row, and he's had like 3 different sessions where he just launches memes 20 in a row. So
we have multiple different variations of the drone port.
Yes,
different times of day, different settings.
Part of it. But no, he had one of his text posts.
40 club championships.
Oh, fine. Which one are you looking at?
I was just looking at his 40 club championships.
Oh yeah.
Picture. It's super funny.
Let me find. I know that I posted this, so let me find it.
I haven't really scrolled his True Social today. He's posting architect James Hoban and President George Washington supervising construction on the president's house in 1792.
Mm-hmm.
Super funny. Trump Tower.
Oh man, this is killing me.
That you can't find it?
Yeah.
I'll find it. Well, here, let me do it this way maybe. Let's do Trump Military Center.
Wait.
Oh, is it the Obama Oh yeah, it was the Obama judge one, wasn't it?
No, well, here is one of them. This one, he just calls it military complex. Here's this one. He says, the very complex and expensive structure being built for the United States military at the east wing of the White House. This picture does not yet include the drone port where the steel, which is already fabricated and ready to go, will be delivered imminently. The project is on cost and substantially ahead of schedule. We are working very closely with the United States Secret Service and military, and this military complex is the best of the best. It will provide the highest level of defense, offense, and safety for the people of Washington, D.C., and for, importantly, future presidents. Also rising is the desperately needed ballroom, something which former presidents have wanted for 150 years, which sits directly under the elevated drone port and is paid for by great American patriots, no taxpayer money. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I love
that
how
is
he called
quite a go ahead.
Can you send that link, by the way? But I love how he calls it. Scroll back up a little bit just so I can see how he phrases it. The ballroom, which is going to be directly under the elevated drone port. Like it's going to be a drone port on the roof of the ballroom, but he calls it an elevated drone port with a ballroom underneath it. I think that's hilarious. I think you're talking about this post maybe for the 2 Georgia judges, one appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, the other by Sleepy Joe Biden, set in a ruling on the desperately needed secure ballroom / military complex, including a major drone port on the roof, that each president is a temporary tenant of the White House. I think that's what you're probably talking about, calling it a military complex.
I was almost certain that there was one that called it a military center. And so that's what I was looking for, but it could have been that one and I could just be misremembering. It's totally possible. all good.
Well, there's one more big one about this situation. Let me see if it's this.
It's also just funny that we've gone from speculating that there's something else going on under that ballroom to now Trump being like, oh, yes, this military complex we're building.
Yeah, I think this might be it here. Because remember when I said a while ago, it went from like, what the hell are they doing under the ballroom? And I was like, by the time we're done, Trump is going to tell us literally everything that's underneath the ballroom through True Social posts. And he kind of does that here. The decision has been stayed and does not take effect for a period of time. We'll be appealing. The military and Secret Service are viewing this horrendous, politically motivated and unlawful ruling as a national security threat to our nation, and that the entire complex is being built for the protection of our country and additionally all future presidents. The single integrated project includes bomb shelters, state-of-the-art hospital and medical facilities, protective partitioning, top secret military facilities, structures and equipment, protective missile-resistant steel, columns, roofs and beams, drone-proof ceilings and roofs, military-grade venting and bullet, ballistic, and blast-proof glass. It's all tied together as one big, expensive, and very complex unit, which is vital for national security and military operations of the United States of America. Maybe that isn't it. The entire complex, military and all, is largely built, fabricated, and paid for. Much is already on site or being delivered. You know, the whole thing is he's calling it a national security matter. Like, if that's true, he has some, presidential authorities, maybe even wartime authorities that he could potentially use to bypass that. And plus, we've said this so many times, like, what is the enforcement arm of the judicial branch? Like, if Trump's just like, okay, guys, that's a cool ruling, but since I'm the one that's technically supposed to enforce that, I'm just going to do it anyway, and you can go screw yourselves.
I saw a video today to exactly that effect, and it was Michael Steele, the former RNC chair, who is now an MSNB or MS Now host. He was making that exact point you just made, John, that there was no way that they could prevent Trump from. Here it is. Hold on one second. I'll pull it right up.
Well, he said that today because I said that on my show on, I want to say Friday.
Booping.
He's booping me. I'm getting booped by Michael Steele, and it sounded really gay when I said it out loud.
Yeah. And he's not the sort of guy you want to get booped by.
Why is he not? Is he like,
what are you going to do?
Oh, I do not want to be booped by him. You're right.
It's the building's gone. They raised the building is gone. They're now building this massive, unsightly monstrosity that's twice the size of the existing building next to it.
Wait, is that Michael Steele? That's not him, the black guy?
And the Supreme Court is going to do what?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court is going to come in and tell Donald Trump, no, stop construction. Then what? Who's going to enforce that? And that's the problem. Donald Trump knows he can act, and there's not a damn thing anyone's going to do about it. They gave him the immunity.
Amen.
They gave him the immunity.
The immunity has nothing to do with it, of course.
No.
The court just has no enforcement mechanism. You have to wonder what sorts of rules, regulations, statutes, the rest of it they're undoing with the court cases over this building. Stuff that we're going to see with the Federal Reserve building, the stuff with the Kennedy Center. These are a lot of challenges to who's in control of these particular landmarks in this federal city. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the form of government within Washington, D.C. in particular is being changed and being scaled back in different ways. So I think that part of it is certainly interesting. And then I just always think about what could be scripted ahead that this sort of story would cut off. And I've talked many times about narrative weapons and narrative defenses. And if you create a military center that sounds like the most indestructible, high-tech, drone-porty place you could ever imagine, well, if they have stories that suggest some kind of military attack or terrorist attack on the White House, and that was supposed to take out Trump or something, well, now you've got the whole defense structure inside the White House, so we can know that Trump is good.
And so it also makes me wonder, if there's any devolution-y aspect to it. When you're building deep underground bunkers and military centers, my first thought is, okay, is that like a continuity government type scenario? If something gets implemented, if the COG-CON gets gets lowered to a level where they need to go to their devolution zone, like is one of them going to be underneath the ballroom now? I'm just very curious to hear where they go with that. I do remember one other thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the Vance stuff. Did you see the story about Doge and how the Government Accountability Office, and it's a federal agency, who knows if this is legit, but this is at least the story they're putting out there, that they overinflated their numbers of savings. And this is something I've been saying for years. I believe I am the world's leading Doge reporter, at least. Like, I've been covering it more than anybody else. I talk about it every day on my show for a year and a half. Nobody else can say that they did that. I did. I started every single show updating you on the Doge numbers. And the reality is I wasn't updating you at all, because they updated like 17 times total. And that was it. They never updated the damn thing. It was stuck on 215 billion for 6 months. The website went down, and then all of a sudden July 4th happened and it was gone. And now this report comes out, and they inflated claims of 110 billion in savings for the federal government, allegedly. And I went through and read some of the report, and like, it's hard to argue with the numbers because you couldn't prove the numbers in the first place. Like, I don't believe the Doge numbers that they were showing us in the first place. I don't necessarily believe the numbers that the GAO is giving us either, but it does highlight my point that, like, so many people were worshiping the Doge thing and like, oh man, Doge, this is how we fix the fraud, waste, abuse in government. And it's still my opinion that this was potentially an op against Trump, much like the Epstein thing, much like everything else. They made this the most hyped thing ever. Like, we are going to save so much money. We're going to save you $2 trillion. None of you are going to ever have to pay taxes again. Not that we should be paying in the first place, but it's because of Doge. That's why we're not going to have to pay taxes anymore. And then what happens? It falls flat in its face. And now this thing is coming out like, oh, they overinflated it. And the number one response I'll get in the chat is like, but they're on the computers and all the agencies. Like, everybody has a Doge department and they're saving all this stuff there. You can't prove that. And I don't understand why everybody is like so quick to defend Doge when it wasn't even Trump's idea. And if Trump was going to eliminate the fraud, waste, and abuse, it was not like, it was not through Doge. It was never going to be through Doge. Doge was somebody else's idea that he like latched onto, like he does all the time. Like, people will come to him with these things. He will draft off of them. Like, Chris, you're the one who coined that phrase. I think this is another good example of that. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't talk about Doge at all anymore. He doesn't give a shit about Doge. He never did. But you guys in the chat are the ones I'm not trying to call you guys out personally. I'm just thinking of all the replies I get every time I talk shit about Doge. People get so defensive over it. I'll never understand, because it's the same behavior we see with the TV characters that everybody loves. And like, you're defending these things that do not deserve defending, and you keep repeating it for so many different things. I'll never understand it. I just don't get it.
People identify with these beliefs. You know, they want accountability. They're told by these mainstream sources that these are the things that are going to bring them accountability. So they put their support behind those things, and they tell everybody, now the accountability is coming. And because they have associated themselves and their identities with this set of beliefs, well, now to challenge those beliefs is to challenge their identity. So they defend these beliefs, even though the beliefs aren't based on anything. And so Doge is definitely one of those things. So are all of the TV characters, and people have a hard time letting them go, even when they prove not to have done the thing that they were promised would happen. And man, I don't know how people ultimately let this stuff go, but again, it's entirely possible that this script was all written to be the controlled opposition side of the Great Reset narrative, and Donald Trump's not supposed to be there. And one of these other characters is supposed to be there instead of Trump. And if it was Ron DeSantis as president and JD Vance as his vice president, and now, you know, you go through Doge with all the tech bros, the tech oligarchs who were never supportive of Trump until the election cycle of 2024. And then especially once JD is named the running mate, you know, and then they're the ones who are running these systems. They're going to get all the fraud out of government. They're the ones always hyping these stories on Elon's legacy social media app, which is really just the new mainstream media. All it takes is understanding there's this other script that is operating It's operating whether or not Trump wants it to. So Trump interacts with that script in ways that make it harder for that script to run. That framework works all the time, which is a pretty good suggestion that it's true, especially when all of the things in this script are designed to convince the public that these problems are solved without actually solving them. And if solutions ever come, those solutions will be moving these agencies from the federal government, which they're not legitimately constitutional in the first place, outside to private organizations, often these tech companies, to solve all the problems. And then we'll be told it's these private organizations doing it. The government's not involved in that anymore, but the government still regulates them. The government, in many cases, started those companies. So, the whole thing, it's a morass, but it all exists inside that little bubble. And that script is still running. Like it sucks, I guess. I don't even think it sucks. I think Trump is making fun of it. If people would only just understand what he's doing rather than support all of the things that he says, even when they're in complete conflict. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a good example of the script that they're trying to run that Trump is like trying to subvert is you can look at the Iran conflict and how they've tried to position JD Vance with that, and then how Trump is even the clip we showed earlier in the show where they're like, well, is it true that you said everybody has to, vote for JD? I don't remember what it says, paraphrasing here, but everybody has to vote for JD Vance. Like, oh no, it's way too early for that. He's like taking the wind out of the sails of them trying to push JD Vance on everybody. And we could get into some of the Raising Cain thing too here, because I don't know what's going on with that, but there's something here. Let me pull up some of these articles. We got this one from August 7th. What's the date today? Today's the 8th. So this was yesterday. If it ever loads. Okay. Trump's top general is looking for an off-ramp from Iran war as military options remain limited. Sources say over the last few weeks, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Cain has privately made clear to other top Trump advisors that the U.S. needs to find an off-ramp from the war with Iran because the military options on the table to escalate the conflict could backfire, and air power alone is unlikely to achieve President Trump's stated objectives. And by the way, this is simultaneously taking place while they're telling everybody that we have a shortage of munitions now. I think they're trying to get us to a point where it's like, okay, well, if we have a shortage of bombs and anti-defense stuff, then we're going to have to like do a ground invasion or something. I don't know what they're trying to say here or what they're trying to do, but that appears to be some sort of op, because that munitions thing and the leakers and everything they're going after has been going on for a couple days now. But then when you look back,
they've cycled through it a couple times too. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The munitions thing, they were doing that months ago as well. Like that comes around all these cycles. The negotiations completed. Now we're doing strikes again. Now we got a ceasefire. Now the munitions are being drained. There's a number of stories that are getting cycled through again and again and again. Yeah.
Here's a story that's on the front of the New York Times right now. U.S. is burning through weapons in Iran. Russia and China are taking note. The Iran war has depleted U.S. weapons stockpiles, resulting in a significant erosion of firepower. A more drawn-out Iran conflict benefits Moscow and Beijing, some analysts say. And we have
where that's going. The United States has no munitions, so China invades Taiwan, and the U.S. is unable to respond and defend our ally Taiwan because Donald Trump wasted all the munitions in his war of choice in Iran. That's your headline in however many months it takes for them to get to that story.
Yeah, here we go. Let's read that here. It's impossible for that not to have significant effect on the decision calculus of Russia and China, who has been tracking U.S. weapons stockpiles. They may do something quite deliberate. By the way, like, how are those public? Like, do we have just like we have a Doge website that shows how much savings Doge has had? Do we have a munitions website that shows how many munitions we have? That's retarded. They may do something quite deliberate and at the time of their choosing, because keep in mind, we're going to take years to reconstitute. Love that word. In meetings in the lead up to the Iran war, General Dan Cain, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, informed the president the risks of dipping deeper into drained stockpiles. According to two officials with knowledge of the exchanges, Mr. Trump still decided to go ahead, believing the war would be over quickly. And by the way, wasn't the narrative we were sold about our munitions and them being low is like we gave so many of them to Ukraine to fight that war? Wasn't there a story during the Biden term about that too? After attacking Iran alongside Israel on February 28th, Mr. Trump repeatedly promised victory within weeks, more than 5 months, blah, blah. This is a story from July 26th, a couple weeks ago. Vance Cain raised concern about escalating war in Iran, sources say, as U.S. pauses consecutive nights of strikes. They're framing him as the him and Cain and Vance is like the conservative one, the ones that are like the peacemaker, the message that Trump sold the voters. Essentially, they're trying to make Vance that guy. And if it wasn't both Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard also like anti-war with Iran people?
Yeah. Okay. And both of them were also, well, Tulsi used to be Tucker's guest host on Fox News, and Joe Kent is part of the Tucker Carlson crew as well.
Oh, we should talk about that too for a little bit.
You know, what's also interesting is, so Barack Obama, his major argument over Hillary Clinton and the rest of the Democrats in the primary campaign before 2008 was that he had voted against the Iraq War. Barack Obama was the Democrat candidate. If you were against George Bush's wars of choice in the Middle East, well, Barack Obama was your guy from, you know, in the Democrat Party, because the rest of them had been on board with that. And now we have the same thing here from the uniparty rights version of Barack Obama.
It's so stupid, man. Do you want to talk about the Tucker thing? I haven't really followed through on seeing what
they just they put out a picture this week of, or maybe it was a little over a week ago, I don't know.
I think it was last
Tucker
week.
Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Joe Kent, Thomas Massey. Who else was in that picture? Ghost is probably saying right now in the chat already. But yeah, it's just the next phase of we're presenting you this crossover movement that can unify America. And it's funny, he just had Kim.com on, who is, I mean, remarkably stupid. It's incredible. That whole interview, he's just saying things that he could have only learned on Twitter and come to identify with because he felt that they like represented his personal brand and the way that he likes to portray himself politically. But the viewpoints are incoherent together. He said at one point that Switzerland was like the ideal scenario right now because they have direct democracy. And so Tucker immediately, there you go. So Tucker immediately asks him, Kim.com, Tucker immediately asked him what he thinks about voting machines, which would be the only way that a direct democracy could actually be implemented right now, is using technology as the interface. And he's like, no way. You could never trust these voting machines.
So they don't have direct democracy.
Well, I think maybe in Switzerland they do. I don't know I haven't researched their program at all, so I'm not the person to answer that. It was just incredible though. And he's extremely anti-Trump. And of course, all these people say Trump betrayed the base, says it right there in Marjorie Taylor Greene's post. And so he's got that. And then he's got Daryl Cooper on, and Daryl Cooper is like a really well-read guy. And I think he's missing something critical, but he also is of the mind that Trump has betrayed the base because of his support for Israel, because Israel's committing genocide and blah, blah, blah. And then Tucker's next guest is Hunter Biden, who talks about how Trump is like the single worst threat to the American Republic continuing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, look at that.
All the people in the chat.
Cenk Uygur is supporting that little movement. Alex Jones is supporting it. And Owen Schroyer there is supporting it. So just again and again and again, people who we've seen be little parts of this op are all piling in, and some from both sides, because Cenk is he's a Democrat.
Yeah. He's worse than that. He's
look at them pushing this thing as though this wasn't scripted for years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Did you see he's having Hunter Biden on Monday?
That's what I'm saying. just a second ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's recorded. I mean, there's highlights of the interview out.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he says. Like the people are, it'll be interesting to see if Tucker like gives him a pass, which it seems like he's going to do. Like he used to harp on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and the corruption, all the stuff all the time. And now he's going to have Hunter on and it's going to be a redemption tour. Do you remember when Hunter Biden not long ago was like, I would run for president or vice president. I would be on the ticket for Gavin Newsom. If they really do try to make Tucker 2028 a thing, I wonder if Hunter Biden would be his VP candidate for the unity ticket.
So Hunter said in one of the Tucker clips that they've released that he's not going to be standing for office.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, I think it was in the Tucker interview, but I definitely saw that within the last 48 hours, I think.
Let me see. Let me just play the clip where, like the promo clip for it.
I haven't seen you in 11 years, though I've talked about you. Hunter Biden.
I love Candace.
I do too.
Yeah. I like Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I like that there are people that have kind of woken up.
I have really only one question, one thing that has bothered me. So I just want to ask you point blank, did you drop off laptops?
No, the answer is no. I say to everybody, okay, show me your phone. Because I showed you mine and you didn't find a goddamn thing.
We get approached by Israelis connected to Benjamin Netanyahu who are shopping this stuff to me at Fox News. The way that it entered the bloodstream of the American media was not real.
I don't have any more secrets. Donald Trump, I think he had such an opportunity. He just decided that all he was going to do was for himself.
One of my closest friends went off the deep end, and all of a sudden Trump's under the bed, and it's like, whoa. It's
he was under my bed. just we are at an inflection point in this country.
What's your plan?
We are in desperate need of leadership.
It's kind of vague, just saying Monday, like no date or anything. But anyway, yeah, that'll be interesting. I probably won't watch it, but probably will. Who knows? I don't know. I go back and forth with Tucker. I do buy his L product though, so that even though I don't know, whatever. Anything else you want to get into, man?
I was trying to figure out where the munitions claims were coming from. Yeah, CSIS, the Center for Strategic and International Studies. So that is a globalist think tank. Yeah, I mean, this is always where these claims are coming from. They tell us what's going on in the military, and they are obviously downstream from global intel. And so when you're getting on board with any of these discussions that have to do with wars, behind that is a claim that you have accepted on authority from the adversary. So I don't know why people are so obsessed with reifying these things and portraying them as like the new factual basis through which we're going to understand our reality. And then we're going to move on to the next level of opining about it and saying, like Kim.com's out there, like we're going to get crushed in a war with China and Russia because all our munitions are gone. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You sound like you're a comic book fan trying to tell me what's going to come out in the next edition. And honestly, there's an extent to which that's true and that it is being written on the fly. So who knows? Maybe he's got that kind of influence.
I don't know. Just some people in the chat. Just to clarify my Tucker Carlson stance, there was a point, gosh, maybe over a year ago, back when he interviewed Putin. We did this huge coverage of the interview and everything, and then like shortly after that, he was interviewing some other people, and everybody was like, "Oh man, Tucker Carlson is awesome. I love Tucker Carlson." And I was like, "Well, I mean, this is an op. Like he's CIA. This is an op. You don't just apply to the CIA and not get in. Like this is an op. You guys are falling for an op." I was like trying to bring everybody back off the edge of falling in love with Tucker Carlson. I got so much shit for that. Everybody hated me for it. And then now he's gone off the deep end and everybody in the chat's like railing on him. I haven't moved my position at all. I have not changed my stance on Tucker Carlson or my views on him at all in 10 years, ever since however long I've been doing this. Haven't changed my stance on Tucker Carlson. Thought he's an op the whole time. I view him the same. You guys are the ones flipping all over the place. All over the place. Not me.
Yeah.
It's It's the cheerleader doomers thing again. Like I'm in the middle, and I have been, and you guys are flipping from cheerleader to doom and cheerleader to doom and attacking me on both sides of it. So,
yeah, buddy. Well, welcome to my permanent existence. Yeah. I mean, you should see the people who get upset about the election stuff. That post about legitimacy. I mean, by the way, Truth Social is embarrassing itself with how wrong people are about this statement. Most of them, it's incredible. It's like 67%. Click on support.
Is that the right answer?
Yeah. Yes. 37%.
That's nuts.
How does it happen? What about higher turnout could challenge the system's legitimacy? I don't know how anybody could have that thought. It's amazing to me. It's incredible. I don't know. That is a mental disease.
Yeah. I just wonder how many people have talked about the machines and like the problem with the machines in our elections. And they're still telling people because that is a contradiction. And I don't think there's something about this conversation when it comes to our elections that people, they have like this visceral reaction where you have to say the certain thing. If you don't say the right thing, you are excommunicated. You cannot be trusted. You are not. And that thing is like you're allowed to say that our elections are fraudulent and they steal elections and they're rigged and the machines and all that stuff, but you can't take the logical next step of what that means to participate in those elections without people throwing stones at you.
Yeah. Well, because it also threatens the party construct as well. And they identify as Republicans. And they're like, you're doing a thing that is going to make it harder for Republicans to win these elections. And they want political power because they're statists.
Yeah. Jake Giggle in the chat makes a good point. He says, John, ignore the chat, which if I was actually doing that, I'd be ignoring this comment itself. So for this one, ignore the chat, but address the super chats if you're confronted there. And I will do that in a minute here. Unless there's anything else you want to get into.
No.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Well, let me go through my tabs real quick. Because I thought it was an interesting Friday of news. Trump signed the birth tourism thing this week. It was kind of a boring D-class week. We didn't get much in terms of election news.
Although Solomon's talking about color of law again and RICO.
Yeah, but we were talking about that back in June of 2025.
Right. But at least it's coming back around. We're going to get the big move for accountability right before people go vote. Or maybe we'll talk about it at the stadium tour that they're doing in Dallas.
I don't know. I just hope we get the freaking midterms canceled. That would be ideal.
That'd be great.
Sorry, I'm just going through all my tabs and I have about 50,000 left and then we can move on. Well, I think we're good. I think we hit on most things that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Well, let's do some boosts and some rants then, guys. And real quick, if you weren't aware, we are going to be going to Vegas for GART. And that's coming up in, when is that? September 17th. That is a com. You have to come now because there's a 17 in the date. September 17th through the 19th, down in Vegas. GART, our 13th stop. Early bird pricing on virtual tickets as well. You can save $10 if you get your virtual ticket before August 15th. Go to badlandsmedia.tv/events. Would love to see you there. The venue is awesome. The people are awesome. These GARTs are amazing. It's a great time getting together and building out the community. So I would encourage you guys to get tickets. Vegas is pretty easy to get to generally. Oh, no, what we forgot to talk about? We forgot to talk about this. A top general in Europe is abruptly removed from command. Have we learned what happened here yet?
No, I don't think so.
One of the Pentagon's top generals overseeing military operations in Europe has been removed from command, the Army confirmed Friday, nearly 2 months before his time on the job would have naturally wrapped up. His last name is Costanza. which is kind of funny. I wonder if this has to do with leaks.
CanCon, I think that was his take on it. That this, because of a couple of days ago, Hegseth let someone go on the basis of leaks.
Yeah,
right?
it was that Air Force guy. Department of War revokes security clearance from former Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall for leaking. All right. Let me check the boosts. Badlandsmedia.tv/boost. You guys can leave us a rant, which we'll read on air, but you don't have to be watching the show live for us to do that. And we got one from 1027JS says, thanks. Thank you. And then she also left one the other day. Says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Appreciate the birthday love. And then we got some rants here from you guys in the chat. I better check YouTube too. I don't know if you have any ideas for outros.
Let me see what I can.
We did get 2 jewels from Suzanne Tuck over on YouTube. Which, by the way, that's a good reminder. Go on over to YouTube and hit that thumbs up. You can give us a follow over there too. We're almost over. Gosh, what are we at now? We're almost at 21,000, I think, over on YouTube, which is pretty nuts. Yeah, man.
There's 300 people over there right now. I mean, and that's not, a lot compared to popular YouTube shows, but it is a lot when you were banned for years. And
for our 5th account, yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'm very happy and pleased with you guys helping us out over on YouTube. Go hit that thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Okay, let's go through these here. We got Snowcat Operator gifting a subscription. Thank you so much, Snowcat. Good to see you, man. Final Demand gifted 5 subs. Truly appreciate you, brother. Let me see if there's anybody in there that I know. New names, too. That's good. Bicentennial John says, John, please fix this. Devolution.link. I gave it as a reference before I knew it was down. I want to make a bumper sticker. Yeah, guys, this is a GoDaddy issue. I don't know what's going on with this, but we have tried working with them we were going back and forth for like a month trying to figure out why devolution.link got taken down and won't work again. They can't figure it out. They cannot figure out why the link doesn't work anymore. And so we have switched it to devolution.us. That is the link that now works. So I would, I don't know, I guess put that on a bumper sticker. And then look forward to the video. I'm going to put together now a video at some point in the next couple weeks for you guys to share around. Keith O'Higgins says, John, you should plan on getting media access and sending a Badlands correspondent to Dallas for the Republican midterm convention. It's a week before GART in Vegas. You coming to Vegas, Keith? But yeah, we could probably send somebody there. Get some media access. Chris?
Who knows?
That's a no from Chris.
No, I mean, I could be open to doing something like that. It's just
it give me an excuse to come down to Texas, but it's also the week before.
Well, if you were going to do it, then I would have more motivation.
Yeah, but I'm not that motivated either. I might be more motivated if you were going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we could decide to just go do that, and both go do it. But yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Network with those scumbags?
It'd be fun to just like set up a live stream and just talk shit to them all the whole time.
If we can do that, I'm totally down to do that. Especially if is Bannon going? I'll go just to
hang out with your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I get to call him stepdaddy, I'll go too. Texas Jules for $25. Good to see you, Jules. Says Badlands is and always will be the most badass online conservative community. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump 2028. Yeah, I will say us and Bannon were the ones leading the charge on the Trump 2028 thing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Arturo Reacts rated the stream. Never heard of you, but thank you for the raid. To check it out. Keith Higgins, John, they are called special elections and Special Olympics because only retards can compete. I like that.
Okay.
The final demand for $50. Thank you so much. Says if the Uniparty in Congress wanted to, they could implement their agenda without the president, pass any law they want, easily override his veto. So why don't they? It's because they won't get reelected. Yeah. Like, what are they gonna pass? Like, I feel like if they did that and they passed the things they actually wanted to pass, that might actually get people off their asses to like revolt, and that's the one thing they don't want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's 100% right. But also to answer the question, the entire media project is committed to setting up this controlled opposition dynamic so that they can just replay this thing forever.
And loot us
if
forever.
They were, yeah. And by the way, they do implement their agenda using both sides of the uniparty to push it through. They call it bipartisan. And then they celebrate it because they tell the country that this is what both Democrats and Republicans want done. There's bipartisan support for this gun measure. There's bipartisan support to make sure that the government does not remain shut down, like that kind of shit. And I mean, is the system implemented more now than it was 40 years ago? They switch the parties back and forth. The uniparty's agenda has been almost completely implemented over that time. So that is what they're doing.
Yep. Spot on, man. They do implement that. But then Trump's the one that's unimplementing it, untangling it slowly. Keith O'Higgins says lesbian catfights lost their luster after the WNBA outlawed flying green dildos. I will say that was my favorite WNBA op, was the green dildos. It's too bad they took that away from us. Old School 69, great show, guys. Is it just me, or does it seem the real battle to fix fake elections is not with Democrats or Republicans, but the courts and all the corrupt, illegitimate judges that defend the fakery? It's definitely a part of it. Definitely.
It's in our hearts, first and foremost.
That's true. Keith Wilkins, I don't care about missiles and drones. I want to know what is happening with our stockpile of strongly worded letters.
Nice.
Yeah, Keith O'Higgins, the Tucker Carlson compound is like Candace Owens' uterus. They're both getting a workout in public. What? You're off the rails, man. And then Human gifted 5 subscriptions. Thank you so much, Human. Appreciate you, brother. And with that, that's all of them. Did you find me a good outro video?
Sure didn't, John.
Nice. You are great at following directions. Let's see here.
I definitely have been trying.
I feel like the AI like videos, I used to come across stuff all the time that were just hilarious.
That whole trend really has slowed down, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. I see JD Vance memes like every single day. And now there's nothing.
I watched this movie called Begonia last week. It's by this director Yorgos Lanthimos, and it's got Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons in it, who are 2 pretty popular actors. And it had a very indie feel to it, but it was kind of conspiracy oriented. It was like these 2 guys who had no future in a small town. One of them, his mother had been debilitated by biomedical products that were in a testing phase. And so he recruited his kind of mentally slow cousin into his scheme. Yeah, into his scheme to kidnap this biomedical executive who was this young woman who was like Times Woman of the Year kind of thing. And they kidnapped her because they were convinced that she was an alien, that she was Andromedan. And it kind of plays out from there, and I won't spoil it for anyone. But interesting movie. I think it's well worth watching.
Begonia?
Yeah.
Haven't seen it, but I will check it out. I typed in funny AI and found this stupid video. I don't know if... I mean... never mind. I don't like it. I'm already unimpressed. Man, I can't find anything.
Yeah. Did you just see Boom Diggity's rant?
Yeah, I was just about to read that. Boom Diggity, thank you so much. $100. Says so many signs about Frank Kendall fellow at Podesta's CAP in this interview with Bad Cow. Trump removal of senior military leaders, military lawyers raises alarm. This is from a year ago. Huh. We could listen to a little bit of this for the outro. Since it's a video and it's on the screen. It's 10 minutes long. I'm definitely not going to play that whole thing.
Are we just going to get copyright capped for this?
Oh, yeah, probably.
That's why I was negging some of the videos that popped up.
There's a new NHL 27 reveal trailer. We should spend the next 20 minutes trying to find a good outro video for you guys. So
it really is terrible. Why isn't there a great video this week that we can?
I don't know. Let me go through my timeline. Chat's not helping either by giving us any videos.
I mean, I would just put up movie clips, but then the copyright thing is a problem again.
Oh, hey, did you see? We could play this video from your Steelers boy, your quarterback.
Oh yeah, people loved that this week.
That's a great video. Let's do that.
All right.
How do you think they're going to do this year, by the way?
Man, I'm optimistic that Aaron Rodgers back in Mike McCarthy's offense can get some things done. I like Michael Pittman as a compliment to DK Metcalf. That young receiver, Jeremy Bernard, is supposed to be doing well.
We're going to be doing our fantasy football thing here again soon. I think we have the draft on like the 24th
of August. Oh yeah, that of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to do. Did you pick your keepers yet?
I didn't even know any of this was happening so far.
Oh, you might have left that text group. If
Okay,
the download sleeper check, you get to keep 2 of your players from last year.
Okay.
Which is
but
sweet.
only if you drafted them.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't like just keep players that you got as free agents toward the end of the season.
Yeah, no, yeah, they have to be people you drafted.
Right.
So like I can keep Josh Allen and like Gianti or something. I think.
Well, but didn't you take them in like the first 2 rounds? You can't do keepers from the first 2 rounds.
I don't know. I don't think there's a rule against that in this league.
Well, we should look at that then, because if there's not, that's very, very bad and dumb.
Okay, well, we should do a new.
Because if you're going to keep it, the audience should like probably check out at this point.
No, keep talking.
Well, the whole thing about keepers is you keep them for 3 seasons, and each year you have to give up a draft slot that is 1 round better than the slot they were drafted in the year before. So if I took a guy in the 10th round last year, I would have to give up a 9th rounder to keep him this year, and an 8th rounder to keep him next year, and a 7th rounder to keep him the year after that. And so you can either keep him 3 times or keep him for a total of maximum total of 3 years. It's one or the other. But to do that, you actually have to be able to have those better draft picks to use on the player, which you can't do in the 2nd or 1st round.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll have to do a new text group for this, because I don't think it's set up that we can't do 1st or 2nd rounders.
Okay. Well,
so we'll have to check on that, but that's coming up. So something for you guys to look forward to is our draft stream whenever we end up doing that. But yeah, we're going to get out of here with the Aaron Rodgers video from this week on Fauci, in honor of Fauci being held in contempt of Congress earlier this week. So thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody. Hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
A couple times today, because you've been very open about coming back for this year, last rodeo, and you talk about your wife saying, hey, have another year. Mike McCarthy being here, obviously a big deal. Can you tell us about the mindset of coming into your last season? Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the 5th.
Okay.
That's a smart move.
Okay.
Like
Gotta
that.
love that guy.
No.
Okay.
Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
Hey, it's back,
Are
baby.
you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You got a
times.
pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times
Yeah.
at the White House. What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend at that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding?
Yeah!
Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard
Nah, I
anything.
bet they didn't.
But on that note,
Then there was another scandal this offseason, too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Where's your cap? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network.
I wish I wish
How
I
much
could
time did you
Go
spend?
back to Fauci.
This is
I wish
awesome.
I could Fauci.
This is awesome.
Go back
Go
to
back to Fauci?
Yeah.
Go back to the coward Tony Fauci and science?
Hold on now.
Who's spending the entire time writing in his diary about how fun it is to be famous? You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so on that note,
What are you going to say about me now?
Debate him,
What are you going to say about me
no,
now?
I got no debate here. You had a 500.
No, seriously, what are they going to say about me now? Now that you can't talk about the COVID stuff because obviously it was made, in a lab in China. That's like not even questionable anymore. Tony Fauci is an absolute criminal. I'm on good terms with my family. I'm on good terms with my family. What are you going to say now? What are you going to say now?
I want to let you know it's been a fun ride for you. I would assume over the last
it's
couple.
been a great life and a great career, and it's nice to be sitting on this side now, especially after that coward played the fifth over 100 times.
Okay.
I thought you had a pardon there, Tony. Why couldn't you answer one question the entire time?
Okay,
Why
we
not?
got 4 minutes until the heart out.
Yeah, I got 4 more minutes in me. We can keep this shit going. We can keep it going. I got at least 4 minutes.
Okay,